There's a new government here in Israel, but fierce opposition to a nuclear deal with Iran hasn't gone away. Naftali Bennett, the new Prime Minister, has got his cabinet together. They've only been in office for a week. He's used the opportunity to blast the incoming Iranian president, who was elected over the weekend. Ebrahim Raisi is a top judge in Iran and an ultra-conservative. He's also a close ally of the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Many of the more moderate opponents were barred from running, and there was a record low turnout of less than 50% of voters. Human rights groups say that Raisi has helped oversee the executions of thousands of political prisoners. Naftali Bennett has called Iran's leadership a regime of brutal hangmen, and he deliberately spoke in English during his statement to the cabinet room because his message was very much aimed at the international negotiators who are trying to do a nuclear deal with Iran.
Raisi's selection is, I would say, the last chance for the world powers to wake up before returning to the nuclear agreement and to understand who they're doing business with. These guys are murderers, mass murderers. A regime of brutal hangmen must never be allowed to have weapons of mass destruction that will enable it to not to kill thousands but millions. Israel's position will not change on this.
Now, Iran says it doesn't want nuclear weapons, but many Western nations don't believe that. In 2015, a deal was done that loosened crippling financial sanctions on Iran if it agreed to limit its nuclear program. But the US walked away from that under Donald Trump, saying that the deal was too weak to truly stop a nuclear weapon. It reimposed tough oil and financial sanctions, and Iran then started breaching the limits on uranium enrichment. In Vienna over the weekend, negotiators have been in talks trying to get that deal back on track now that the US is back on board again. Officials say the talks are making progress, but both the US and Iran say that significant issues remain. The Israeli government is hoping that a deal can never be reached and that those tough sanctions on Iran continue, especially now that it has an ultra-hardline president.